Hello Misfits! Just like the other video, I am here to provide you a summary of Campaign 2. So if you're hoping to jump into our next campaign, and you're in the process of filling yourself in on all that has happened, you are in the right place. Just like my other summary video, I have to refer to my notes to make sure I'm not missing anything important. So pardon me while I glance to the side. I have outlined the broad beats of the campaign. So that's really what we're tackling here. We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of everybody's backstory, every single side quest. We are just focusing on the main events of the campaign. All right, here we go. On to Campaign 2. So this campaign lasted a full year longer than the last one, but I think I might be able to summarize it a little bit more concisely. I got a little bit better at organizing and plotting out my campaign this time around. So this campaign takes a full 50 years after the last one. So because of that, I feel like I should kind of set the stage a bit and tell you a little bit about what has happened in the world in between Campaign 1 and Campaign 2. So, first of all, flying ships are no longer a thing. In the last campaign, people used them all the time, but it turns out that that was using some pretty controversial magic in order to be used, and one of our characters from the last campaign kind of single-handedly took it upon themselves to rid the world of that. So, no more flying ships. 2, gods are way more involved in the world now. They were very absent in the last campaign, but after the big climax of that story, a change was made. So now they're quite involved in the world. 3, the previous campaign's heroes now spend almost all of their time off-plane, kind of talking and negotiating with said gods. They're trying to make sure that nobody goes crazy and does another, like, world-changing apocalyptic event. And, I think that's understandable. 4, periodically, boats, like sailing ships, have gone missing without a trace. This is very mysterious. It doesn't happen, like, every single day, but every once in a while, a full-on, like, galleon ship full of people just flat-out disappears. Very mysterious, very unsettling. 5, Genasi have slowly started disappearing around the world. Genasi families get split up. It's almost like members of the family are getting taken away, and it's another strange phenomenon that has started happening in the years leading up to Campaign 2. So, with all of that, you've got the stage set. Let's get into the story. This campaign starts with a party traveling on a boat to an archipelago called Kadath. Said boat immediately gets caught up in a storm and sinks. They all wake up on a mysterious island full of very unsettling undead creatures. After fighting all of that, they find a chest full of weird, strange coins and a cryptic poem. When the poem gets read, they all black out and wake up in the ocean with the island nowhere to be seen. They manage to get rescued by a guy named Arthok, this big old Goliath with a hunch on his back. And they learn that they each have one of those weird coins they found in their pocket. And when they try to get rid of them, they just reappear. Arthok takes them to the nearest town, and all of them, Arthok included, pitch in to buy passage to a large city where they can hopefully get some answers. In their travels, death seems to follow them everywhere they go. Weird murders keep happening where people seem to be drowned or strangled with these suction cup markings found on their neck and body. On top of that, with each new death, this magic aura that's sort of emitting from their coins gets stronger. So the party figures they kind of gotta be cursed, right? Along the way, they named themselves the Yo-Ho-Hos. It's one of those campaigns, guys. The party makes it to the next city, and they find someone with the knowledge to help them. And this happens to be Mortimer Maxwell Carton. He was a favorite from the last campaign, and he shows up again here. He tells them that the coins seem almost alien in nature. They don't seem to be from this plane. And all 7 of the party members seem to be tethered to these coins. But strangely, there's an 8th tether that Mortimer can't quite seem to trace. One of the party members shows Mortimer a strange box that they acquired prior to the campaign starting, and Mortimer tells them that it has the same alien qualities as these coins, but he's unable to figure out much more. While in town, the party meets the local favored hero group, Fortune's Favored, a group of budding heroes that everyone seems to like, and half of which seem to be related to the last campaign's party. The Yo-Ho-Hos and Fortune's Favored decide to do a friendly battle, and while the Yo-Ho-Hos lose, they do make an important friend in the process, Lord Theodore Adrillis, a very wealthy man in need of a crew that has had the misfortune of owning most of the boats that have gone missing. He hires the party to take a new boat and chart the coast of Kadath. The party agrees and insists that he hire Arthok as well to serve as their navigator and help them along the way. The party names the boat the Ocean's Breast. Shortly after setting sail, the party meets Alaric Graves, a pirate and acting captain of a ship called the Ouroboros. He has a rough history with one of the party members, but a tenuous truce is made, and he, leaves. After parting ways with Alaric, Ali for short, the party finds their boat has magically found its way back to the island from the start of the campaign. They don't know how they got there, why they're there, or what this island is, but they're there nonetheless. The party finds a strange temple on the island and bizarre monsters, more undead, and a couple more of those weird boxes like the one they showed Mortimer that was similar to their coins in nature. They learn that these little boxes have clay figures inside. These clay figures are somewhat humanoid, but they have like a squid or octopus-like head and some wings on the back. And they also find some very strange writings referring to a dreaming god named Cthulhu. Oh yeah, baby, we're doing Lovecraft in this one. So when they return to their ship, they learn that a monster attacked and killed one of their crew while they were gone. When they investigate, they find Arthok trapped within the ship. They manage to free Arthok and then kind of quickly have to flee the island as fast as possible because the whole thing just sort of starts sinking into the water, because that's normal. When they finally have some time to question Arthok further about the monster attack, it's revealed that he was the monster. That hunch on his back is actually a tentacle that he used to attack and kill one of their crew. He's been hiding it this whole time, and he was once a fearsome sky pirate known as the Cloud King. But clearly something happened, and he has acquired some pretty dark powers since being a pirate. He escapes from their ship, and the party are left stunned and just literally questioning everything. The party regroups with Ali and his crew, and they decide to stop at the next town, only to learn that Arthok has already beat them to it. He managed to get to the town and burned the whole thing to the ground, killing everybody. They realize that Arthok has to be killing people for a reason, and by searching his room and his belongings, he seems to be keeping track of every person he kills. He's clearly counting up to some sort of number. They also guess that he is the 8th tether that Mortimer was talking about, that 8th tether tied to their coins, and he must be connected to this curse that they have somehow. Ali sends his crew ahead to try and keep tabs on Arthok, and they call in Fortune's Favored to try and head him off and stop him before he attacks another town and kills more people. Arthok actually is stopped. He's imprisoned in a magic bottle that Adrillis, their, sugar daddy, for lack of a better way to describe it, he provides them with this magical bottle to contain Arthok, but it comes at the cost of half the lives of Fortune's Favored and Ali's entire crew. The party hires some more crew and make a few more friends, like Escher the vampire, and then they set sail once again, hoping to get more info about their curse along the way and try to put some of this really dark, grim stuff behind them. Meanwhile, Mortimer leaves to go oversee the construction of Arthok's prison and monitor his containment. On a side quest, the party manages to stumble into the Feywild and also get themselves poisoned. Oddly, after they blackout, they all wake up back on the island with none of their belongings. There they meet a strange man named John. He seems unsure of his name, always wording it like a question, but he also seems to know Arthok, so they try to get some information from him at least. The party also find a really strange tapestry cape type thing on the island. It was hanging very close to where they woke up, and they decide to take it with them. John helps the party leave the island, which they now surmise is on a different plane of existence entirely. When they get back to the material plane, they learn that 9 months has passed while they were gone, and a lot has changed. They're pretty sure the 9 months is due to the Feywild kinda doing whatever it wants with time. So, in their absence, a lot changed. A god flooded a town, the rest of Fortune's favored, including their boat, went completely missing, more Genasi disappeared, and Ali was also imprisoned. So things are kind of not great. So the party has to set out to fix all of these bad things that happened in their absence. In doing so, they end up visiting the island a few more times, gaining more information each time. During one of these visits, nearly the entire party is killed by John, who turns out to be more monster than man. Kind of a recurring theme to people kind of tied to the island and the curse and everything else. Now, almost the entire party dying seems super bad, except they figure out that when they die, they come back. Specifically, they come back wherever that weird tapestry cape thing is. They figure out that Arthok must be something like a lich, and this tapestry, this cape, is probably his phylactery. Because they are tied to these coins and tied together, they seem to be benefiting from the lich-like qualities that Arthok possesses. So as long as he is alive, and this curse that they're under is still intact, they basically can't die. Well, they can die, but they'll just keep coming back. They also find out that they need all 8 coins and 8 little clay figures in order to seal Cthulhu away by putting them into these strange obelisks hidden around the island. So now they have to figure out how to get Arthok's coin and find more statues. Not the easiest task, but at least they know what to do. Okay, so we kind of did an aside to talk about some of the stuff on the island and the information that they learned there, but we still gotta cover all the bad stuff that they need to fix, all those things that happened while they were gone. So I'm gonna very quickly list it and get through it. They rescued Ali from a creepy cult leader named Father Mackenzie, complete with sidekick named Eleanor Rigby. They find out that the Genasi are being taken to the elemental planes because the elemental gods sense that something bad is coming for the world of Aurelia, and it's probably Cthulhu. They also find out that their benefactor, Adrillis, he was actually the one taking all of the boats. He was trapping them in bottles, just like the one he lent them to contain Arthok. Turns out he was, kind of also a monster, but a very different kind. After all of that, they run an errand for their vampire friend Escher and travel to the Astral Sea. There they find our favorite Genasi mage from last campaign, Zephyr, as well as the last Cthulhu figure that they need. When they get back from the Astral Sea and return to the material plane, they learn that, well, everything is horrible once again. Arthok has broken out of prison and is sending 3 armies to attack 3 separate cities, and he demands that the party meet him on the island, or he is not calling off the bad guys. They gather all of their allies as quickly as they can, and they send them out to protect these 3 different cities while they go confront Arthok. They totally kick his butt and manage to seal Cthulhu away for good, but Arthok didn't hold back on releasing those armies, so when they get back, they definitely have to kind of sift through the aftermath, but their allies were victorious and all 3 cities were spared destruction. The Yo-Ho-Hos are named Heroes of the Realm, and the world is at peace once again. Just like Campaign 1, there's definitely a ton of stuff that I skipped over. Stuff that's not crucial to the main plot, or I just didn't have time to really get into the details of. So I'm gonna give you a few teasers here at the end. Okay, I skipped over the plot to build Evil Warforged, the body swap fiasco that happened in the Feywild, a full city basically getting destroyed by the sudden expansion of hundreds of shrunken boats and bottles, and also what I can only describe as the Pirate Olympics. It was a very bizarre, wacky campaign with many twists and turns. To close us out, I'm going to give you a brief rundown of our party members from this campaign. There's Isla Vanois, the rogue fighter sea elf. She had to deal with amnesia, a cursed earring, and trying to get all of the pirates not to kill her. We had Orellana Horaneth, a rogue thief water genasi. She was searching for her parents that got basically yeeted into a water portal when she was a kid. There was Darren Sycamore, the human bard. He was looking for his wife and son, whose boat disappeared suddenly one day. Next, there was Ronan Cananthry, the rogue sorcerer half-elf. She sees a dark shadow behind her whenever she looks at a mirror, very mysterious. We've got Chi Amikani, the Kalishtar cleric. She was trying to spread the good word of Selûne until good old Father Mackenzie came to ruin her day. And there's Revan, the Warforged artificer. He had some memory issues and seemed to be working for a guild with not so good intentions. And last is Hoots, the owl and monk studying the way of the long death. He was searching for a cure for his sick master while furthering his understanding of death and her part in the balance of the world. Campaign 2 is an absolute blast, and the next campaign takes place just a couple years after this one, so it probably is important to at least brush up on some of these events. If you would like to watch Campaign 2 and get more into the nitty-gritty details that I couldn't cover here, it is all available on our YouTube channel as well as Spotify. And a few things to note though, Campaign 2, it's the first time from the beginning we recorded the video of the full campaign. Campaign 1 is audio only, and Campaign 2, we stepped it up. But there were definitely some growing pains along the way. So as you watch Campaign 2, you definitely see us learn how to figure this stuff out. You see me figure out how to balance the audio better, how to have better video quality, and figure out exactly what I want in terms of, like, I don't know, just sort of the different visuals and art and all of those things. So sometimes it's interesting to see the growing pains, and sometimes it's a little frustrating to see, like, if only it was, you know, A+ material from the start. But it's kind of nice to see where we started, where I started as a DM and a content creator, and how that has changed over time. So just something interesting. All right, that was Campaign 2. So if you listen to all of that, you should be ready for Campaign 3. See you there.